Hello friends, let us now learn some important points about the foreign body of bronchus. So if you see foreign body of bronchus, so first, whenever the foreign body enters the bronchus, then it will cause obstruction, right? So because of this obstruction, it will initially cause choking, and then the patient will have cyanosis followed by unexplained cough and unexplained unilateral wheeze. Okay, in later stages, the patient might also have hemoptysis, and he will also have obstructive emphysema. He will also have hemoptysis and obstructive emphysema. So these are the main symptoms. So if these are present in, mostly it is partial obstruction. If there is initial choking and cyanosis with cough, unexplained cough and unexplained wheezing with hemoptysis and obstructive emphysema, then mostly it is partial obstruction. Then if there is partial obstruction of bronchus, then that is one thing. If there is complete obstruction of bronchus, what happens? Just imagine if this is the bronchus. Okay, actually the right bronchus will be straighter and wider than the left bronchus. Okay, now there is a foreign body which has come, and these are the small secondary bronchi. So now it has completely obstructed this bronchus, or think that the whole right part of the bronchus is obstructed. So if there is complete right part of the bronchus is obstructed, this bronchus will supply the uh, air to the right lung. Right now, the right lung is not getting the air. The air present in the alveoli, the air which is present in the alveoli, that air will be absorbed into the systemic circulation. Once the air is absorbed into the systemic circulation, this big lung which is there, this will now becomes into a atelectated, because the whole air is absorbed. So as a result, now the lung becomes smaller, and this process is called as atelectasis, which is resorption atelectasis, which occurs secondary to the obstruction of the bronchus. Okay, so this obstruction is most common in the right bronchus than the left bronchus, because the right bronchus is shorter, wider and more straighter. Okay, next if you see the treatment, in the treatment, first and foremost, you will have to do bronchoscopy. And once you do bronchoscopy, you have two options of doing bronchoscopy. Whether you can do rigid bronchoscopy, second you can also do flexible fiber optic bronchoscope. You can also do flexible fiber optic bronchoscopy can be done. So in rigid bronchoscopy, if you see, it is mainly done via the mouth. And here the structures seen in rigid bronchoscopy are uvula, epiglottis, vocal cords, tracheal rings and carina, and segmental bronchi are seen in the rigid bronchus. So if you see rigid bronchoscopy, how to remember the structures which are seen under rigid bronchoscopy? Rigid bronchoscopy is done by mouth. So this is rigid bronchoscopy. So first and foremost, when you take the rigid bronchoscope to the mouth of a patient, then what are you going to see? In the mouth of the patient, you are going to see uvula first. So there will be uvula, and then when you take the rigid bronchoscope downwards, okay, then you will see the epiglottis. Okay, so rigid bronchoscope, first you will see uvula, then you are going to see the epiglottis. Now after epiglottis, you will the epiglottis will be visualized, then you will see the vocal cords will be seen on either sides. Now you will enter the vocal cords, right? Now you will enter the vocal cords and you are going down, and then on the sides you will have tracheal rings, right? All these tracheal rings are visible through the rigid bronchoscopy, and then you will see the bifurcation will be there, which is visible in rigid bronchoscopy. This bifurcation of trachea is called as carina. So this carina will also be visible with the segmented bronchi. You can visualize up to the segmental bronchi. So what are seen in rigid bronchoscopy? Uvula, epiglottis, vocal cords, tracheal rings, and carina and segmental bronchi are visualized under rigid bronchoscopy. The main advantage of this rigid bronchoscopy is removal of foreign body is done easily with the rigid bronchoscopy. Then the next important thing which we have is flexible fiber optic bronchoscopy. In flexible fiber optic bronchoscopy, this is actually done through the nose. This flexible fiber optic bronchoscopy is done through nose. The structures seen through the nose are, so here we are going through the nose, right? So as a result, so this is the nose of the person, and yeah, So this is the posterior choana and this is okay. Now you have put the fiber optic bronchoscopy through the nose. Now you can see the posterior choana. Number one, you can see the posterior choana. Then you can see the pharynx can be visualized. Then if you go down, again epiglottis will be visualized. Then if you epiglottis and even the vocal cords will be visualized. And if you go even further down, you can even see the rings of the trachea and also the carina and segmental bronchi. And here remember, this is one thing, and here you are seeing segmental bronchi is visualized, and here even the subsegmental bronchi is also visualized. Not just segmental bronchi, even the subsegmental bronchi are visualized in flexible fiber optic bronchoscopy. This flexible fiber optic bronchoscopy has better magnification and better vision. It has better magnification and better vision. It is used because it is used in condition where rigid bronchoscopy is contraindicated. In those conditions we use flexible bronchoscopy. Now what are the conditions where rigid bronchoscopy is contraindicated? Rigid bronchoscopy is actually contraindicated in conditions like, it is contraindicated if there is cervical spine instability. It is contraindicated in conditions like trismus and micrognathia and also recent MI. So it is contraindicated. Rigid bronchoscopy is contraindicated in cervical spine instability, trismus, micrognathia and recent MI. Rigid bronchoscopy is contraindicated. This rigid bronchoscopy is useful in bedside examination of a critically ill patient. It is useful in bedside examination of critically ill patient. It is either passed through the endoscope or you can also pass it through the tracheostomy opening also. Okay, so what are the contraindications of rigid bronchoscope? Cervical spine instability, trismus, micrognathia and recent MI are the contraindications of rigid bronchoscopy. So in these cases we do fiber optic bronchoscopy. So this fiber optic bronchoscopy is mainly useful in bedside examinations of critically ill patient. This is also passed through the endotracheal tube and tracheostomy opening also. So thank you.